Heritage units are a fascination of mine, and I would imagine they fascinate many of you too. On a continent where the rails are dominated by several big corporations, these specially painted engines help to break up the monotony. And there's also usually an interesting backstory behind the colors these locomotives wear. Of course, seeing these in the wild, so to speak, can sometimes be planned, but other times it just comes down to pure luck.
February 6th, 2022. A railfan friend of mine gave me a heads up that Norfolk Southern's Pennsylvania Railroad Heritage Unit was passing through Atlanta. It was leading NS 154 and would be working the yard in Chamblee, Georgia. This gave me plenty of time to set up. 8102 was one of 20 locomotives painted to honor Norfolk Southern's predecessor railroads. It was all part of the company's 30th anniversary celebration in 2012. Now, the head end of this train would actually be in Doraville, Georgia. Both Chamblee and Doraville are cities in the metro Atlanta area. While they were switching the yard, I was able to get some good detail shots of this engine. Here's that iconic Pennsylvania Railroad keystone. Now, the paint that covers most of this unit is called Tuscan Red, and here you can see those legendary pinstripes. Look closely, and you'll see someone has written PC into the grime on the side of 8102. Of course, Penn Central was the successor to the Pennsy, New York Central, and also New Haven. You can also see someone wrote out the Pensy's dates of operation, 1846 to 1968. Anyway, I got my detail shots and had to move on. I didn't have time to put my feet up today.
Okay, this is hands down my favorite Amtrak paint scheme. It's known as the Phase 3 scheme and was most notably worn by the company's EMD F40PH locomotives, like this one. Some folks at Amtrak must like it too. Lately, they've painted many pieces of rolling stock like this and also several locomotives. Now, the one I'm about to show you was painted to mark Amtrak's 40th anniversary in 2011. In fact, it was the first of Amtrak's 40th anniversary heritage units to be put into revenue service. And by the way, this shot was pure luck. I saw number 145 out of the corner of my eye while I was on the highway, and I knew I needed to get ahead of it and hit record.
Luckily, I had some time to get ready while Amtrak number 19, the Crescent, made its stop at Atlanta's Peachtree Station on February 5th, 2022. I promise, this is how I found the fence on this bridge. I did not make that hole. And by the way, if anyone's missing a boxcar door, well, it's down here. Anyway, after a bit of waiting and battling strong winds, I could hear number 145 coming my way. I guess the crew saw me up here on this bridge. Now, this is the second unit I've seen wearing the Phase 3 paint scheme. Number 822 was used to pull Amtrak's 40th anniversary exhibit train. Amtrak did do a new Phase 3 paint scheme for its 50th anniversary, but it was the design applied to the railroad's GE-8s, the so-called Pepsi can scheme.
So while we're talking about passenger trains, I want to show you one that I caught in Atlanta recently. It wasn't Amtrak, but I guess it wasn't much of a catch either. It was really hard to get footage of this thing. But thanks to the help of a fellow rail fan, I was able to find it sitting next to a really old cemetery.
We don't see too many passenger trains in Atlanta, and unfortunately, this sleek and modern Brightline set that I saw at CSX's Hulsey Yard on January 31st, 2022 would not be staying. It was on its way to Orlando, Florida. According to a press release put out by Brightline, this consist is called Bright Blue 2. It has 2 locomotives and 4 passenger coaches. The set was built by Siemens Mobility at its facility in Sacramento County, California. Brightline currently serves Miami, Fort Lauderdale, and West Palm Beach. Its extension to the Orlando International Airport is expected to be done by the end of 2022. The locomotives on these trains are streamlined versions of the Siemens Charger. This is definitely a modern train. See that device by the engineer's side door? That's a rear-facing camera, and its feed can be viewed inside the cab. I'll bet we'd all like to look inside there. Now, this train set would ultimately travel across 10 states before it arrived in Florida. CSX number 83, what they designate as a CW44AC, would have the honor of delivering it. This video, courtesy of Brightline, shows the moment the new train set arrived at the company's vehicle maintenance facility near the Orlando International Airport on February 8th, 2022. And here it is, operating under its own power. Pretty cool.
Okay, the final catch I want to show you comes to us from across the border. America's northern border.
This is Canadian National number 3234 sitting on CSX's W&A main line next to Tilford Yard in Atlanta, Georgia on January 29, 2022. It looked like the crew that got it here was ending their shift. I waited around for a while, hoping to see another crew show up, but that never happened. But there was a little activity down here. Another CSX crew was switching some cars. This GE ET44AC honors Canadian National's 100th anniversary. The company hit that milestone back in 2019. The decal on the nose of this engine is the CN Aboriginal Affairs logo. According to the railroad, it operates inside or next to nearly 200 reserve lands in Canada. Now, the locomotive behind 3234 is also interesting. It's an old City Rail lease unit. Now, just one honorable mention before we wrap things up. Before this train got here, I got another lash up in the same spot with an old CSX Jeep in the YN2 paint scheme. It's been a long time since I've seen one of these, and I may never see another one again.
So that's it. A few of my more memorable catches to start off 2022. But with a little luck and some planning, hopefully I'll have more to share with you as the year goes on. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.